Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a magic moment is back with us again. The Bill Crane Report is on the air with my friend Dwayne Weiss.
So lucky.
I'll tell you, folks, there is going to be a lot of good stuff today on this show. I would advise you, we'll just do a little chit-chat here, but I'd advise you, while we're chit-chatting, get a paper and pencil, because you're going to want to write some of this stuff.
Take notes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Take notes is right.
Because this will probably be in the Library of Congress by day's end.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At all. So, today, the beginning of the impeachment hearings down in Washington.
Did you get up early and start watching it?
No, it didn't start till 10.
I know. I found it out.
Yeah.
I got up at 7.
And it's going to be a stage show of bluster and BS.
Oh, absolutely.
And nothing will come of this. And it will all go away, because when it goes to the Senate, it'll be hammered right down, and that'll be the end of it.
And one side's got one thing, and the other side's got the other side.
That's right.
They just go back and forth and back and forth.
And the Democrats will say to themselves, we put on a stage show.
Yep.
And the Republicans will say they didn't lay a finger on us.
Yep.
The truth will be somewhere in the middle, and nobody will care.
No.
These idiots that we elect down in Washington, they are in a lifestyle that we can't understand. This is inner Washington dirty politics. That's all it is.
Oh, it's politics with a capital P.
And it does not advance the cause of the American people one bloody inch.
Not a bit.
And these, you know what really gets me? These guys that are on the committees, and they get their 5 minutes of fame. They get to ask questions.
Oh, my God.
But first of all, they have to read a statement for about 3.5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. That's...
And this is it. And then they can go to the folks back home up in Mousetrap, Montana, and say, did you see me on TV?
Did you see what I did? Great? I took care of them. Oh, yeah. This morning, the opening statements, I thought, well, I'll watch this for a while. Then they went on and on and on, the two, Kent and Taylor. I said, my God, Kent, when he opened his, he had to tell about his grandfather and his father going to Annapolis. And who the hell cares?
This is the whole point. Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Now, well, I don't know how to... The rabid Democrats and the rabid Republicans will watch and see if they can find a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
And no one else will. And Joe Sixpack, Sally the hairdresser, they're going to live their lives like it's not even happening.
I'll watch it just to see the verbal bombastics between the two of them and watch one try to trap the other. To me, it's like a cat and mouse game that they play.
It's so silly.
It is.
It is so silly. It does not, again, I hate to be redundant, but it does not advance the cause of the American citizens one bloody inch.
No.
It's a total waste of time and money by these bloviating blowhards.
Well, I know it made somebody mad at our house.
Uh-oh.
Price is Right wasn't on.
Oh, boy.
Oh, them are fighting words.
Well.
That's not me, by the way. I don't like Price. I can't stand that screaming and squealing that they all do.
So stupid. Yeah. It's so contrived.
Yeah.
You know,
my God.
I don't know. You know, it's like some of those shows. Well, for instance, Hollywood Squares. Do you remember Hollywood Squares?
Yeah, that's where they would, the tic-tac-toe type thing. Yeah. And they all thought they were just cuter in hell. And they're so funny.
But every single word on that program was pre-programmed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they had a script they read from, and I remember somebody, I forget who the hell it was, say, boy, those people, they're fast on their feet. They come up with these quips, and oh man,
No, everything that they get called on, there was the next thing that they're going to say.
written there. And then when they were asked to, well, what's your answer to the question? It would be a one-sentence answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were on their own then. They had to come up with an answer. Yeah. Well, I'm going to start off today with what I consider one of the 3 or 4 or 5 big stories of the day.
Okay.
Hillary Rodham Clinton has put out a press release and said, I am under enormous pressure to enter the race for the presidency.
The pressure must be coming from Bill. I don't know who the hell else would want her.
You know, she cannot accept the fact.
Yeah, she's done. She's got. She's toast.
She's cooked.
Yeah.
And she can't accept the fact that she lost. She still claims it was stolen from her.
They cannot believe it yet today.
And you know what she wants to do? I would be willing to bet you, well, if she were ever elected, God help us.
Yep.
But if she ever were, she would move immediately to change the way we elect the presidency.
Oh, absolutely. I think they.
And we would go to a popular vote.
Yep.
As opposed to the Electoral College,
Yep.
because the Electoral College beat her.
I think there's a couple more out there that would change it.
I think so, yeah. But the Founding Fathers put that in so that every state would have an equal
That's right.
Vote.
That's right. Otherwise, you get California. It turns out to be a country unto its own. You go say, well, what's California going to do? Well, that's going to be the law because they got enough votes to swing anything they want.
Yeah, I mean, they get 63 electoral votes, and Rhode Island has 1. And that's not right.
No, it wasn't.
And, you know, we should really and truly look at the wisdom of the Founding Fathers. This republic of ours has existed for, let's see, 100, 200, 250 years.
Long time.
Because of the intelligence and courage of the Founding Fathers.
There was some great forethought put into all that. You know, the thought of having 2 senators from each state to balance that representation out. And the almost anticipation of problems, what the Republic could have, and they would bring this stuff right into the Constitution.
Exactly. The perfect example, the House of Representatives. That's for the population, if you will. All right, and that's where all financial bills have to start.
Yep.
And then it goes to a more deliberative body, the Senate.
Right.
Now, the Senate goes slow by design. And now they take what the House has done by popular vote, and now they examine all the nooks and crannies of the legislation that is sent to them. Now, this is our forefathers back in England with the House of Commons and the House of Lords.
Yep. Oh, yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's a system that works. Now, you say to yourself, well, Nebraska gets by with a unicameral legislature.
Yep.
You know what really is something amazing is that their legislative session lasts about 60 days.
Oh, yeah.
And they take care of all the matters,
business,
and that's it. They're done for the year.
And they go home and they do what they, back to the farm or to the hardware store or whatever they do for a job. They go back to work.
Yep. It's amazing, really, when you look at the fact that there's no BS out there
Yep.
in Nebraska. Well, anyway, I got off the point here. So, Hillary Clinton has put out the word that she is under enormous pressure to enter the race for president. Well, let me tell you, the pressure is self-induced, as far as I'm concerned. She has been waiting and hoping and praying that somehow or other a crack is found in the Democratic Party. She's going to try to slip through that crack and enter the race.
Well, she lives under an illusion of grandiose. I'm so important to everybody.
It is this deal about the rich and the powerful and the celebrities in this country. It is this empowerment.
Yeah.
I am owed this. Yeah. And this is ridiculous.
Well, it's our form of royalty.
Yeah, it is.
That's what they think themselves. They're some kind of princess or prince or king.
Do you know that you watch some of the interview shows on television when you accidentally bump into, who knows, some name, whatever. And they ask her a serious question. Or him a serious question. First of all, they either try to joke about it or laugh about it. But if someone pins him down, they're empty-headed mannequins. You know, I don't see where actors and actresses have this great talent. They don't. All they have to do is be able to memorize lines.
And pretend. They're pretenders.
That's right.
Why we put so much stake in what they say, that this has got to be the truth, or this is such an insightful analysis, when they're not. They're just actors.
That's it, exactly. And that they continue the act when they get off stage too. Well, anyway,
you know, years ago, if you had a daughter and she's going to date an actor, you were not happy about that.
No, they were not high on the totem pole of acceptable beaux. That's for sure. Well, Jamie Dimon, who is probably the most influential money guy in the country, and many of the other big money folks have told the Democrats what they don't want to hear. The Democrats will lose with the socialist Warren or Bernie Sanders. I mean, Warren she's all done. Bernie is not physically fit. Biden is not mentally fit.
I think he's...
You know, any more than I am.
No.
You know, I'm 79. All right? I can't remember names.
No, we get a certain point in our lives.
That's right.
These things just happen to erode. It's a fact of life.
And I don't have the energy to sit and listen to a bunch of BS coming my way and say, oh, yeah, well, okay, fine, let me process that and go on. Being president is not an easy deal.
It's impossible. It's one of those things that there's 80 things coming at you at the same time. And each one says, me, I'm the most important thing you got to contend to.
Yeah. It's like 80 guys out there throwing softballs at you.
Exactly.
Oh, you can dodge a few, but the rest of them are going to whack you. And the others in the Democratic scrum are pipsqueaks.
Yeah.
So look who's trying to sneak in. Bloomberg, I'm sorry.
That's all right. We know who you meant.
And Deval Patrick.
When I opened the paper yesterday, I said, oh, my God. Who's next?
Like Freddy Krueger crawling out of the grave.
Absolutely.
And so with Bloomberg, Deval Patrick, so right now the nomination process is in flux. A hung convention is a possibility. And you know what that means? The decision will come in the dead of the night in that famous smoke-filled room.
That's right.
And boy, won't that be something? Hillary cannot wait any longer. She has got to get into this. And she wants it so bad.
Oh,
because, again, she deserves it. I deserve it. I've paid my dues.
Royalty.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you, she's going to do much worse than she did last time. First of all, this isn't even going to get off the ground with her, I don't think. I don't think that anyone is going to sing and dance.
Well, we get such a skewed sense of the political scenery anyway here, because everything is so skewed by our media. And we if you looked at our media until a week or so, we thought, hell, Elizabeth Warren's got this in the bag. You know, she's just something to everybody. Now you notice the last few days, Elizabeth ain't quite as the
Globe is running attack articles against her.
That's right. So the other day there was one. I said, "Whoa, this is sort of out of scope here for the Globe to print anything like this."
This is well. Do you see what? Everybody's looking at this, and she is just simply not electable.
Now, every time she opens her mouth, she's on some other ridiculous kick of some plan for this and some ridiculous plan for that.
And you know, the big money folks, the big contributors to the Democratic Party have said she cannot win.
No.
That we've got polling that shows that Trump is going to beat any Democrat that's out there.
On that stage right now, yep.
So, what are you folks going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So now the worm has turned.
Yep.
And the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Boston Globe are now playing the role of kingmaker or whatever, and they are all scurrying.
Well, now they're starting to look for a moderate.
That's right.
Because they were so enthused about these progressives, and they were just finally they started waking up. Said, "This is ridiculous. It's just not feasible. The stuff you're talking about."
So, especially with the money.
Now, God,
I mean, she looks like a deer with caught in their headlights.
Yep.
She's standing there. She cannot answer how she's going to pay for this.
That's right.
And every time she opens her mouth, she sticks her foot in it deeper. She's not going to be able to pull this off. And that's what they're telling the Democratic bigwigs. She's not going to be able to win.
And she keeps making her definition of wealthy higher and higher and higher because she doesn't want it including her bracket.
That's right.
Used to be millionaires. Then all of a sudden it's pointed out that, well, even Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. Oh, now we're not talking about millionaires. Now we're talking about billionaires. Well, so-and-so and so-and-so in the Democratic Party, now we're talking about ultra-billionaires. So they keep shifting it.
Going to have a wealth tax.
Yeah.
A 2% wealth. Oh, no, not a 2%, a 6% wealth tax.
But it's only going to start way up here someplace.
So then some little beady-eyed worm at MIT sits down with his calculator and finally comes up and says, like the mouse that roared, her numbers don't add up.
They don't add up.
They're not even close to adding up. And there was some talk, too, a couple of the articles I read, where the Democratic bigwigs, now I don't know who the hell writes these stories, but it sounds to me like a lot of it's leaked, are telling the bigwigs, listen, her numbers are fiction. And if any of you really think this is going to fly, you're going to get killed.
You're going to get killed, yeah. Well, you know, with enough money, Bill, you and I could solve all these problems. We could sit here, and if we just had this ultimate pile of money for the government or the country to spend, we could fix the infrastructure. We could fix this. We could say, yeah, fix every highway. Get every truck out there. Get every cement truck going. Get every contractor going. Just start it. Yeah, we could fix this. We could do that. with no regards to finance. And that's what she does. That's what some of these others do.
Right.
They just got pie-in-the-sky ideas. Well, jeepers.
We're going to have everybody covered in the new health plan.
Absolutely. Why
and
not?
it is not going to cost you a penny.
Nope.
Okay. Well, how are you going to do that? And then it's... Yeah. And what they're saying is, if you Democrats do this, you're committing suicide.
Yep.
And Bernie's no better. In fact,
Bernie's so unrealistic that it's...
Bernie. Now, she's talking, and it's a different number. I've got articles here quoting her. Well, it's going to be 34 trillion. It's going to be 42 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
No, 49 trillion. And it goes on like this. Oh, Bernie's not screwing around. He came out and said 92 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and what some of the comments were is, at least Bernie's being honest.
They're talking more money than our whole gross national product sometimes.
The other thing, too, that bothers me, and I thought you were going to go in that direction there briefly. You and I could sit down. Now, we'd need some facts and figures. Mm-hmm. And we need some folks to help us. Okay? But you and I could solve Social Security and Medicare.
Yep. Okay.
And very simply.
Mm-hmm.
But the lobbyists in Washington, oh, no, don't you do that. Mm-hmm. You're going to affect my folks that are paying me to lobby against that.
That's right.
Because you're cutting into their income. Like, for instance, I'm not sure where Social Security deductions stop now. I think it's around 150, 140,
150,000, someplace in there.
Why can't it go to 2 million?
Just let it go.
Or just let it go.
What's the difference? Because after 140, 150, or 180, or $200, it's no longer a factor of a person's taking that check home anyway. It's a factor for the guy that's taking home $400 a week, and they take out something for Social Security.
Exactly. So by adjusting that and maybe messing around a little bit with dates where people retire,
that too,
this thing could be solvent in 2 hours.
Yep.
Medicare, the same bloody thing applies.
It applies to Social Security too. Take the damn fraud out of it, and take the loopholes that everybody dips into these two funds because they're like a money pot over here. And if you got some other special project, well, just dip it out of here. Just take it out of here. Take it out of here. Leave it what it was meant to be.
President Trump was talking that we have taken millions of people off food stamps.
Yep.
And what was the reaction by the Democrats? Oh, those poor people, they're being penalized by this no good president in the White House. He's taking their food stamps away. What they're doing is they're clamping down on fraud on these people that were never eligible to get food stamps in the first place.
There was so many holes and was so easy to scam.
Exactly. So he's doing the right thing, and they're so now is this what it is, that they have sympathy for the people that are defrauding the government to get food stamps? Is that it?
It sounds like it.
God Almighty! But two reasonable guys like you and I, that we may run into problems with us being reasonable, but. Sitting down with a couple of guys that could feed us the correct information as we work through it, could get 2 days. 1 day on Social Security, 1 day on Medicare. And
we would have them in a hell of a lot better shape than they are.
That's right. And we would not be listening to any lobbyists.
Nope.
And that's the problem. These lobbyists get in there and look, Dwayne, well, shall we go to the football game this Sunday? The Redskins are playing the Patriots here in Washington, and give us a good chance to tie on the feed bag afterwards, too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and maybe we can spend 10 or 15 minutes talking about this tax legislation.
That was a way of life with them, or it is a way of life.
That's right.
But you know the fraud in these things, and some of it was so obvious, and it took them so long to catch on. You remember the motorized scooters and wheelchairs?
Oh, yeah.
You saw an ad for that every 10 minutes on, remember that, folks? 10 minutes, the roundabout and all these others. And, if you got a bad back, or your leg hurts, or you in the morning you get up, your foot hurts, just call us. We've got doctors standing by. They'll certify that you need a roundabout for $3,200, and we'll certify it. You don't have to do anything. We'll ship it right to your home. Free.
And Medicare will pay for it.
Medicare will pay for it. Well, this went on for a year and a half or 2 years.
That's right.
There were neighborhoods. They showed one in Baltimore where kids were running up and down the street with them because mama on every house called up and got one. They didn't need them, but the kids were using them for toys.
And how many of you folks are getting calls at home? Hi, this is Judy from...
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Braces now.
That's right.
Braces is doing the same thing.
Back. Now, we've been told your records show that you have had reoccurring back trouble. Well, any senior has had back trouble.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, we can fit you with a brace at no charge, fully paid for as a Medicare benefit. You've paid into Medicare all your life. Now, Medicare wants to take care of you.
Yeah, that's right.
And knee braces? Why go through an operation? We'll fit you for a knee brace.
Yep.
And we'll bill Medicare.
At some outrageous rate, too.
That's right. And it's all a racket. Oh, you'll get the braces.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll get the back brace. Probably don't need them. Probably won't fit. Probably won't do a damn bit of good.
But you'll get them.
But you'll get them.
Yep.
And they'll get paid.
And the call now is that they're warning you. We've noticed that you haven't taken advantage of this.
Oh.
And Medicare has told us that if you don't take advantage of this now, you won't be eligible for it much longer. Yeah. Medicare didn't tell them anything like that.
No, they're out to defraud Medicare. Yeah. I mean, good grief. When I get these calls at home, whammo, down they go.
I do too. I used to play with them, but after a while, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. International Association of Police Officers.
Oh, my God,
called me. Yeah. Now, I'm sure you support your local police there, Bill. But this is an organization that takes care of the families of police officers killed in service. You know, these families have a tremendous loss. They've lost their father. They've lost the breadwinner. They've lost the anchor of their family. Won't you do something to help them, Bill?
Or they personalize it for sometimes about the police officer had been killed in Norfolk.
That's right.
Can't you help them?
Yeah. And I love this one too. Wow. You know, Bill, I've finally got you on the line.
Oh, I got that too.
Somebody to get a hold of. Pickle out of the bottom of the pickle barrel.
Yep, I've got that.
Yeah, and I hang up on that one too.
Most of them we don't pick up anymore. We've kind of got off the subject, but it's interesting. But I think people should just don't even bother. You got caller ID. If it says anonymous, caller unknown, 800 service, it's nothing that you want. Just ignore it.
Unfortunately, my PCP had an anonymous line. And he said, they see doctor on there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The reverse people are calling him, and so he has an anonymous phone. It's quite a nation we live in when we're being terrorized by phone calls constantly barraging us. Oh, and by the way, I like it too when I say to the International Brotherhood of Police, I said, okay, tell you what, I said, tell me who the president of this organization is, the officers of it. Send me something on letterhead. I want to see your balance sheet. I want to see how much money you're raising, how much goes to police officers, and have it certified. Send it to me in the mail, and I'll tell you what, a check will be coming your way.
You'll never get anything.
Never. You know what you get? You get
Click.
hung up on.
Get hung up, right?
Yep. Because they're frauds, folks. And they're out to get your hard-earned money. And you know, they take advantage of the elderly.
That's right.
We don't move as quickly. We don't think as quickly. And we get some money squirreled away. And if they throw a sob story our way, you know, a perfectly rational friend of my wife's, I had a stockbroker call her. And it was a penny stock. Back in the days of penny stocks, on the pinks, and said, here's an opportunity for you to make some money and do some good. This is a company, small company, that is about set to make a major breakthrough in cancer, a cure for cancer. Maybe a few years away, but when the words of this leaks out, the stock is going to go straight up. And you can feel good about it because you're investing in something that's going to save lives. I mean, she couldn't write a check out fast enough.
Oh, absolutely. Some people will just go for something like that. Just unbelievable.
About a year later, I happened to mention, how's that stock doing? And they were out of business. Good, huh? Well, we have a problem or two, and there's a story, maybe this doesn't belong at the top of the heap, but I put it at the top of the heap because two things have happened with this story. We have this defendant, David Naguana, who in 2016 was going 80 miles an hour under the influence of marijuana.
Hit the trooper.
Hit the trooper, who had 6 kids, and killed them.
Yep.
Well, he said he came from the medical marijuana dispensary. All right? He crashed, and so they arrested him. Now, they have found him guilty yesterday of manslaughter and motor vehicle homicide charges. But they found him not guilty on 2 felony counts alleging he was high on pot because the judge, and it was a judge-only trial, said, you did not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he was impaired from marijuana. Well, that right there, we can stop right there. This is something the legislature in Massachusetts has done. They really need to be proud of themselves. Marijuana is legal now. They kicked the can downstream. They wouldn't act on it. They didn't have the courage to act on it. So this happened by one of these initiative petitions where marijuana was legalized. Now, again, because they didn't have the guts to stand up and take the situation head on. So now we have a substance that's legalized that is a recreational drug, but will put you into a state where you're impaired. You should not be driving, but
that's the whole key right there.
There is no proof. You cannot extract proof of the guy being, or the gal being under the influence. So isn't that great? The legislature wouldn't act on it. The people in a popularity contest did pass it without thinking of what happens downstream. So now we are faced with the roads getting more and more and more dangerous. Colorado it's not a popular subject, but Colorado, they've found impaired driving gone straight up. So what are we going to do with this? How are we going to handle this?
Make the punishments severe enough. But we don't want to punish anybody in this state.
Well, but we can't even convict them.
We don't punish them. That's part of the judicial system.
But we got to convict them before we can punish them.
I don't see marijuana any worse than alcohol. How many times you compare the marijuana deaths and the alcohol deaths? There's no comparison. One is so many a week are killing somebody or getting in serious accidents. What happens? They go before these judge magistrates or these clerk magistrates and they walk.
Only if they're connected and willing to spend a bunch of money.
I know, but even if they're not, sometimes these guys are on third and fourth and fifth DUI.
I know that.
But they're still walking the streets.
Yep. But
so it's.
But the proof mechanism is there.
Yeah, well, it is. It is. But I think this is a little bit like the gun shooting somebody. Was it the gun or the person pulling the trigger? There's blame on both sides of this stuff. I don't buy the fact that simply that you legalize the marijuana and then we have this mass slaughter on the highways. That's just not true.
Well, I tell you what, AAA is finding it to be true.
I don't see that, but
well, AAA is coming out with some numbers.
Well, of course they're going to be against it, but I don't blame them. They should be against anything that makes somebody impaired.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's sleeping pills or aspirin or marijuana or what it is. If it impairs you, you have to be against it.
Well, you have to
unless
be,
you're
because
a fool.
I want to use the roads.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But we should have the same enthusiasm to closing down alcohol consumption then.
We have. Alcohol consumption is down. I mean, look at the bars going out of business. The bars used to be on this corner, that corner, there, over there, and the guys would go there, drink at night. No, it's a couple of beers and they leave.
Yeah, because some of the laws changed.
That's right.
The penalties have gone up. It used to be 1 point something, and it went to 1, then 0.08. And it used to be, when we were kids, Bill, if you got caught with a few beers, the cop just go home, or I'll take you home.
Listen, I work part-time for the Walpole Police as an ambulance driver down there. And the big deal was on Friday and Saturday nights, cops were stopping kids.
Yep.
And give me that case in the back seat.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Throw it in the back seat of the cruiser. And then come back to the station every once in a while. Hey, Bill, just got a case of Miller High Life.
Want a cold one?
Nobody else will drink this crap.
Yep.
So I'll throw it in your car out back. Beautiful, thank you. And
that was the end of it.
That was the end of it.
Yeah. Today the consequences are a lot different.
Yeah. In fact, I know a guy. Now, we're not going to argue how bright this guy is. He's intelligent, but not bright.
Yeah, I know a few of those.
All right? He's got 3 DUIs. Just got grabbed number 4. And this one's a beauty because it's driving after suspension, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And the lawyer has told him, well, we better start. If you want to get your license back, I need $10,000 right away. It's going to cost you more than that.
Yeah.
But so the penalties are severe, mm-hmm. especially if you're a blue-collar worker.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're a stockbroker or some highfalutin wizard on Wall Street, what's 10 grand? Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, you make that in the morning on an option call.
Yeah.
But for a guy with a couple of kids, 10 grand?
That's
when the average person in this country has less than $600 in a savings account? Mm-hmm. Where's that money going to come from? Yeah. You know damn right well where it's going to come from. Dad?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you help me? But so we do have a mechanism I think, that has reduced, I know it has. Drunken driving. Because, you know, how many times 25 years ago did you get behind a guy weaving?
Oh, yeah.
And you don't see that anymore.
You don't see that much anymore.
Because guys don't drink in bars anymore. I know, you know, bars that have gone out of business. And in Massachusetts now, there's no such thing as a bar. You have to be able to serve food.
Yeah.
And it has to be a real menu, not a ham and cheese sandwich or
Plus,
something.
they've put some onus of responsibility on the server.
That's exactly
You can
right.
something called over-serving.
Yep.
There used to be no penalty. If the guy was drunk and he sat at the bar and you wanted another shot in a beer, they just kept selling it to him till he fell off the stool or ran out of money.
Yeah. Whichever
came first. But now there's a penalty for over-serving somebody that's obviously intoxicated.
And also, it says the old saying goes, stuff flows uphill now. Because after the bartender, there's the owner.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to pay. And they have to have insurance. And that's big money.
Yeah, one of the first questions they ask on a DUI or DWI or drive, every state calls it something different, but is where was your last drink?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They want to know
who served you.
Who served you last? So that's you as a lounge owner or a restaurant owner or a bar owner. You don't want to be named very often as that person because they're going to be coming after you.
Absolutely. You know, I watched the breathalyzers being, they always like to have a witness. And if I was on duty and sitting there reading the paper, Billy, come here, witness this, will you? Okay. And you'd have a kid or a guy or a woman, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Sitting there stinking drunk. I mean, just barely able to have a conversation with you. And he or she would blow a .11. A little bit over the .08. Okay? So, but totally incapacitated.
Yeah.
So, Billy, get in here. I need you to witness this. He said, I already did this guy. He said, I'm going to do him again. He said, you got to witness this. This guy blew. .37. Yeah, that is almost 5 times over the legal limit.
Today, yeah.
And you know what? You and I are talking exactly like he was talking.
Oh, yeah. There are people that, there's different aspects of, it's the alcohol blood volume as opposed to your total blood source.
Yep.
And there's a big difference between a 90-pound young lady and a 300-pound guy.
Yeah. Well, this guy was...
and there's a difference how people metabolize them.
And this guy told us, he said, I start drinking first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. I think he had an insurance agency, I think. And he said, I drink all day. And he said, it doesn't bother me. And, but they caught him, I think he ran off the road into the bushes or something. I forget what the hell the story was.
Some people, you could have a liver that metabolizes it very, very fast.
Also, too, what you also have to take into effect is if the guy's just had a big meal.
Yeah.
And he's had a few pops. Mm-hmm. Well, he could be fine, but still blow over the limit.
Yeah.
But still be fine.
Sure.
So there's a lot of variables. But I've seen, so I saw it in the service. I mean, 6'3", 220-pound guys have 3 beers on the floor.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all deal.
No, that's the problem with that. You can't.
So anyway, so this guy is facing the guy that killed the trooper is facing 20 years in prison for the involuntary manslaughter charge. He could have faced a mandatory minimum of 2.5 years and a maximum of 15 years for the felony motor vehicle homicide charge. So he's facing 20 years in the can. Mm-hmm. This judge, it'll be interesting to see what she decides to do, but I would say that if anybody deserves the 20 years in the can.
Oh, absolutely.
For what he's done, destroyed an entire family. Now, so that's part one of the story. Part two of the story. A whole bunch of uniformed state troopers came to the courthouse and to witness her decision.
Okay.
They were denied entrance. She said, this court is a neutral place and impartial at all times. The neutrality must be embodied in the courtroom itself to a fair and impartial trial in a neutral tribunal. Now, this, to my way of thinking, is what's wrong with the state police. We're going to stand in front of you, and we are going to stare you down.
Okay.
That's what they're taught in the state police school.
Yeah, it's intimidation.
Intimidation. And we're going to go and we're going to stand and stare at that judge.
Bill, look at who they are and how they present themselves. That Yogi Bear hat is not from Yogi Bear. That's from a drill instructor in the military. That bandolier across here is intimidating. The the boots, the shiny boots.
Jack boots.
Jack boots. That's all part of a persona.
That's right.
Meant to intimidate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are taught.
They're taught to do
stand.
that. Yeah, and to give them that 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, I mean, this is their mentality.
Well, that's their modus operandi. There's just that's their mentality too. But that's exactly what it is. That hat is not, the whole uniform is not by accident. You watch BD Live. Look at whether it was Kansas. That's the guy. If he's got a hat, it's a baseball cap. The cars look like just SUVs, and they said, "Would you care to sit up in front while we talk here?" And,
Oklahoma.
Or maybe in Oklahoma,
in the front.
Well, that's where it was.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
And those Oklahoma State Police guys are not intimidating.
No.
But boy, I'll tell you what, they're tough.
They are.
And you can tell they're tough.
But they don't play that game.
They don't play that game.
That's right.
And they are polite. I'd have never met a polite Massachusetts state trooper.
For years, they were rough and crude. They would never say, "Sir, you can't park here. You're gonna." It's always, "Get that effing car out of here." They were like bears out at Logan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was very happy to see that judge stand up to these bullies, because that's what they were trying to do.
But you know what does bother me a little bit, and it has nothing to do with the fact that they showed up. The fact, I think that came out of the Herald.
Did.
The Globe wouldn't report that.
I know.
They would say nothing about that court.
So this bothers me more than it should in this regard, because I love and respect police officers.
I do too. I think
They are the last bulwark we have in this country between us and chaos.
Or anarchy.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Good. And what really infuriates me is I respect them, I love them, I support them, I want them to do the job they're supposed to do unencumbered. And you should not be interfering with them. Let them do their work. But when a bad apple comes out, don't try to hide them.
The fact that they're everything that you said. When they do turn bad and something happens, like with the Mass State Police, it makes it that much worse.
Absolutely. And it should.
Yeah, it should be.
We have put them on a higher standard.
That's right.
All right? They're compensated very well. All right? And they are expected to do exemplary work do it honestly.
We should be tearing that organization apart. The fact that they go there and they find out all that the evidence has all been destroyed, shredded, and everybody goes, "Oh, it got destroyed."
Yeah.
Well, baloney! Somebody ought to be walking the street now or in jail for it. But nobody will be.
I hate to jump ahead because I got a special folder at home, State Police, and I'm building it up. But this Gilpin, all right, the colonel. Now she was appointed to clean this.
That's right.
up. Well, it's interesting. So for 2 years, we haven't heard one word out of her mouth.
Not much.
So now, she has now
resigned.
Yeah, but the chinks begin to show in their armor.
Oh, absolutely.
So the reporters have now questioned a couple of things. All right, so she has said, "That's it, I'm retiring, putting in my papers." So now they're outing her. The state troopers are outing her. She didn't do this, she didn't do that, she didn't talk to us, she didn't pass any regulation, she was powerless, she couldn't do anything, she didn't try to get any reforms. All she did was hide with her uniform on and prance about and without any really demonstrated ability. Yeah. And then they fed this to the reporters.
Sure.
But the reporters already do this because they had their state police sources. But what really drives you up a wall is reporters are supposed to report, and they don't.
No, the Globe makes the news.
Yeah.
That's their
exactly
agenda.
Right. Exactly. So,
but we got to, before anything happens, going to happen with the state police, we've got to get, and this is a big if, the damn legislators got to step in and change that law that they have to take the new colonels or the new leaders from the ranks. Every time you do that, you bring in a new person at the head who came from the ranks and carrying all that baggage right up there with them.
Knows all the guys.
Yeah. Who knows favors?
It's a closed confraternity, all right, of 2,200 state troopers.
Yep.
And that sounds like a lot, but when you work your way up the ranks and you transfer here, transfer there, boy, you get to know a lot of them.
And you owe a lot of favors, and a lot of favors are owed to you.
And not only that, but you know what else is drummed into your head? Us versus them.
That's right.
And you better bleed blue.
Yep.
Well, you know what they do? They stick together. And right or wrong, they stick together. Now, as if that's not enough to drive you crazy, charges were dropped Friday against a Massachusetts state trooper accused of exposing himself and punching a man at the Luke Bryan concert at Gillette Stadium. Let me just drop down. They dismissed the charges in accordance with the BRAVE Act. The law allows a judge to decide if veterans, such as Patterson, can seek treatment in certain cases instead of going to jail, according to Mass Vets Advisor. The law calls for an assessment to be made on whether a program would benefit the veteran. He is going to seek whatever appropriate resources he needs as per his assessment, Moynihan said. The law permits someone who has been honorably discharged and has seen active duty to have a criminal charge of a misdemeanor if the individual has no other record, dismissed under a diversionary program.
Yeah. We got 2, Bill. Less.
Okay. He was suspended with pay and then suspended 3 months later without pay after an internal hearing. But once his pay was stopped, they invoked this real quick, and he's back on the payroll.
Yeah, that I think that's stretching the Warrior Act.
Now, Patterson told reporters outside the court Friday he has done nothing and to deserve the type of slander and public shaming that I have experienced. These were false allegations from the start. There were no witnesses forthcoming, no videotapes forthcoming.
We're down to 1.
Yeah. So he punches a guy out.
Yeah, I know.
And then exposes himself to a kid.
Yeah.
And plenty of people saw it.
Then hides behind that Warrior Act.
And the people
Yeah.
are terrified of going to court against a state cop,
Yep,
so they will not testify. This is a hell of a thing. So there. Well, folks, we got bogged down real good this time. And our 60 minutes are up. So, tune in next time. And let's see if we can make further headway into this pile.
Probably not, but we'll
Probably
try.
not. We'll try.
Take care.
Hey, folks, see you later.
Bye-bye.